Motorsport Season 8. We're in our final round in Donnington Park in the UK. It's been a fantastic season. I'm glad you've been following along. Here we go. 4 kilometers, 38 racing laps here. It's going to be wet and wild for those 11 first turns as it has just been raining. Let's take a look at the championship standings. Peter is dominant, as we know, but it's Shattered Compass versus TTAR. Watch out for those guys. Mr. Mouse and Broadchen are both in this race, so watch out for them as well. They're battling for 4th, and everyone else behind, hold your breath because you're in for a treat of what's going to happen. And here in the team standings, Jaguar, Jordan, Toyota, all those guys behind are absolutely fighting to see who can get into 3rd or 4th place. And here we go in qualifying. Peter way ahead of everyone, got the driest lap of them all, ahead of Shattered Compass, Broadchen and TTAR, who struggled to get a lap in. Here we go.
They're off. Going down to a foggy T1, lots of wheel spin for our pole sitter.
There is, and I think that's the Jaguar up into, he's looking around the outside. Oh no, that's TTAR. He's off, first corner.
Looks like School Driver is finding the gravel there. It's a messy T1.
There was a rear wing missing as well from that Jordan. Unbelievable.
TTR now recovering, going from middle of the pack to 9th, I think. 4th, was it 4th or 5th to 9th?
Yeah, and look at the wet start. There are puddles everywhere off the track there. Unable to keep it on. Oh, is that orange right at the back, 14th? I don't think he qualified very well. No, he was back for the qualification, right at the back of... and here's the Super Doobie in 7th place. So gained quite a few places from qualifying here. He's down in 12th at the beginning. He's managed to be the... get all the good graces from the misfortunes of others.
Just look at that spray. It must be impossible to see where you're going.
I bet they can't see more than one car ahead, if they can even see the car ahead. Is that Stupid Doobie up to 4th? What a start from the guy. Unbelievable. And that's TTR already up to 6th again, so recovering, trying to recover from 4th to 9th, back up to 5th now already.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of
Compass.
I was going to say, we've seen a lot of movement. Shattered Compass started from 2nd, I believe, and has found some issues there to fall down to 6th.
Okay, so after the chaos of the first few laps, we've got Peter, followed just behind by Broadchen. Then a couple of seconds behind them is LT Caustic, followed by Stupid Doobie. Oh, and TTR has just gone up into 4th. Looks like Shattered's up into 5th. Leclerc 6th, Mumbo Man, Dan Gilligan, NDF, Viltex, Stupid Doobie, and who is that? Was that Stupid Doobie falling back down the order?
That was.
No one is safe in this wet weather. Look at the spray. I'm making a hard time seeing which cars are which. Unlucky for Stupid Doobie, he benefited from all that misfortune, and now right back into where he started.
So much going on, it's almost hard to keep track.
So let's talk about the championship battle going into this race. We know Mr. Mouse, Mumbo Man and Broadchen were pretty close. Mumbo Man in South Africa not getting points, and he really needed to get points. And what's this?
Oh, that was T-Tar making a mistake at the final corner before trying to dive into the pits, but Shattered Compass is planning on continuing on.
That pit entry, that is not the right way to come about it, T-Tar. You need to be on the other side of the track. Who is that off the track there? Oh, there is a lot going on here. Okay, so Dan Gilligan up into 5th.
So we saw T-Tar pitting. Do you think that was for slicks already? It just looks very wet still, you know?
It does look wet. I think he is pitting for slicks, though. He's going to see how it goes, because the spray is diminishing. We can see it. That was a lockup. Oh! So it looks still wet in places, definitely over there by McLean's and up into Coppice. It looks very wet. But other parts of the track starting to dry out. I wonder if that's Williams boys again trying to take another strategy to help him from that first corner incident. He's down in 11th now, so this has to work out for him. 28 seconds behind.
See, there are still some spray rooster tails coming up, so track's drying more in some parts than others, as we see the leader now jump to the pits.
Yeah.
So
that's Borchin in the lead now. Peter in seconds. LT in thirds, or up into second now that Peter's gone through. That looks like Shattered Compass there fighting. Has to be with the other Jaguar there.
Yeah, trying to slip on past. Yeah.
Down into
From
T1.
wheel to wheel.
I don't know how these guys are picking their braking points. And
Shattered Compass didn't do it. That's how.
It's got to be so tricky because all of the dry bits that you're used to being on are just now suddenly like rubbery, slippy death zones. But there we go. It's Peter. Are they your dry tires? I think he is. So the dry tire is working. He's already back up into third place. Okay, so this looks like the changeover point. If the leaders have gone, I wonder how long it will take for the rest of the field to follow suit.
It's tricky to call just because the track still looks so wet, but if the dry tires are holding temperature, then they will be a faster tire to be on.
Yeah. Down here through the S's, on board with Dan Gilligan. Second Jaguar driver, had a really stunning season so far. And putting in the performances as we're on board with Mumbo Man. Again, his main championship rival right now is leading, but is in the pits. Borchin in the pits, lap 4. So we're just starting to see a few more dip in and out. And Peter only 8 seconds behind the leader, LT at the moment. So it's going to be nip and tuck actually as Peter and Borchin both come out onto the track. We're not following that battle. We're on board with Leclerc here, Minardi.
Shattered Compass is now in the pits for the soft tires, I believe.
Has to be. Seems to have worked out for TTR. He's up into 8th now, 19 seconds. So it looks like he's gained 10 seconds on the leaders thanks to their early stop.
Would you see TTR make a move on Leclerc, showing that those tires are working out for him?
Yeah, they must be holding the heat. It only seems, even around here now where it was wet just a couple of laps ago, just seems a few little puddles, especially off the racing line where it may not have been cleared yet. So the weather all weekend has been pretty foggy. Qualifying started out wet, then dried up as well, and the race looks to be doing the same. It even looks like the sun's trying to peek through over here into the S's, down into Melbourne hairpin there. TTR already back up to 6th now. Oh, and who's that in front? Looks like Dan Gilligan going wide at the Melbourne hairpin. He's on board with Garrett now.
Looking at the timing tower, I think the Peter is taking back P1 from. Actually, it might have happened a couple laps ago, but LT Caustic was leading briefly.
He was, yeah. I'm not sure if he's pitted yet or if he's just holding on. As we see Dan, the second Jaguar now in the pits, lap 5. So not everyone has been in yet. Oh,
He's found a reverse.
he found reverse as we're leaving. So orange, as we were just briefly on board with there, as we see Mumbo Man on the dry tires now.
Oh, there's contact a little bit, but they both keep control of the car. That's impressive on the slick surface.
That is very tough to do. And all of these curbs and everything must still be a little bit wet. Actually, has Mumbo Man pitted yet? He looks like he's got incredible grip. Dan Gilligan came out in 10th place. Got a gap ahead of him, 2.5 seconds to orange. Now we do know that the second Williams driver has come to this track with 0 preparation. So he is struggling there to find his way, find a rhythm into the track. As we're on board with Garrett now, 6th place. Great showing this season as well. Had some misfortune, had some unlucky moments as well. And keeps up in there. It's tough to get points this season. They're only going down to 6th place, so a lot of hard work has to be done by everyone here, and some misfortune ahead of you to get the points.
I think we might have our first retirement already. It's Stupid Doobie. I see is 5 minutes behind the leader. So even
as well, 2 minutes.
He's not dropping, a second or so.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Oh, who's that? That looks like that's the other Williams of Orange. No,
It
was orange.
It was orange, yeah.
It was orange down into
even the more experienced drivers in the movie are really struggling to keep on top of the changing conditions here. Speaking of,
yes. As we're on board with Leclerc here. Lap time pretty slow. I wonder if he's just come out of the pits because that's a 1:46. He's had a big off. As we see LT Caustic now going to the pits. Lap 7. The first one I believe was T-Tar and lap, I don't know, 2 or 3. So about a 5-lap window people are in at the moment. As we see Peter in second place trying to find Broadchen. This isn't a spot that Peter usually finds himself in second place. As we see Garrett as well into the pits. Lap 8. Getting some fresh, soft tyres, some dries. Realizing it seems to be working for everyone else.
Yeah, these cool temperatures kind of lead themselves to the soft tires lasting for a lot longer than usual. The hard tires aren't going to be a big player this weekend by the looks of it.
Oh, as Viltech just drifts wide. Oh. What happened there, Viltech? Oh, is he retiring the car? Full throttle into the wall. Something has happened to Viltech. That car is not good. And he's gone to the pits. I think that's going to be a retirement there.
Maybe Viltech wanted the mechanics to get a little more practice.
So in the championship standings, after Kyalami, Garrett has not scored a point for Toyota. So on the fringes of the points, now onto the dry tyres. I wonder if he can make a move here and see if he can climb his way up and score his first points of the season.
I think if the first few laps showed us anything, it's that this is going to be an unpredictable race.
It is indeed. And have I seeing this? Has T-Tar climbed up to third place, 20 seconds behind the leaders after everything?
How have we missed that?
So that strategy really worked well. And he was about 20 seconds behind the leaders when it all happened. So just having that early pit stop really helped him just make his way through the field as everyone pitted in front of him. As we see Shattered Compass started in second, I believe. Was it second?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, in second place, make his way back up into fifth. And just, what is that? 8 seconds behind Mumbo Man there. As we're on board with Garrett. That's going past Orange Boy. Orange is not having the best time right now. Garrett up into 8, Orange back into 9. Looks like he's struggling. Oh. He's already letting his teammate through on lap 9.
Playing the team game. I think T-Tar must feel like he has the pace to catch up to the leaders.
At the moment, he's faster. T-Tar is matching Broadchen and faster than Peter, so what it could have been if it wasn't for that first corner incident. So lap 10, Broadchen leading Peter by 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds, as T-Tar is now 19, almost 20 seconds behind. And then we've got the Mumbo Man, Ultra Caustic, Shattered Compass. They're the point scorers right now. They've all pitted. Dan Gilligan, Garrett, Orange, Leclerc, NDF, and Maxi, the remaining guys from 7th down to 12th.
I think Shattered must have made a mistake somewhere because LT Caustic was behind him not too long ago.
Yeah, he was just running 5th. So there must have been some mistake. Look at how much counter steering he's having to do into that final corner in Goddard's. The track must still be damp, so it's going to be tough. If you lose just a tiny bit of temperature in one of them, they're very bravely running it right out onto the grass there. It must still be very damp as well. This is not the way Shattered's race needs to go right now. He needs to be climbing up the order. He's fighting for second place with TTAR as he was ahead in the championship, coming out of Kyalami by 1 point. But the current way it's going to go, it's going to be more than 1 point between them, and it's going to be Shattered Compass taking third in the standings. But he is hunting down LT Caustic here. Down into
He is
the
hunting
S's.
him down. He might be getting a little frustrated just going off of the qualifying pace. You would assume that he's got the pace to kind of move towards the podium positions, but this is holding him up.
This is indeed. This is almost a repeat of last week where TTR was kept behind Dan Gilligan for a while. Shattered as well in that first stint where Dan got through with that magic overtake around the outside in the first few laps. Here we go, right on the tail. He's thinking about it.
As close as he's ever been, but it's not an overtaking spot, I don't think.
No. Yeah, Craner curves down into the old hairpin. You've got to be brave to send one there, and you've got to have a speed differential. We're on board with NDF here. Teammate Leclerc, a few spots ahead. What's everyone's lap times looking at? We've got 107 from the leaders, then we're into the 109s, and we've got the 112. So not that different a pace, really. 5 seconds separating the field in terms of pace. As we see LT really use all the track to his advantage there. Through the S's.
Getting a lot of rotation.
Yeah, a lot of rotation. I wonder if that was some rear locking or just have really good setup in the car to just have the car steer for you like that.
Those Ferrari engineers are paid well, so I wouldn't be surprised if the latter.
Yeah, and they have had a really dominant season. This is not the season to be missing with Ferrari. But it is showing the pace of LT right now to be in front of the Ferrari. And it's really showing Rocha and the Jaguar team have bought something special here. Now 5 seconds ahead. It is not often we see Peter just being like shown how to drive. Peter usually right up at the front, setting the pace the whole time. And here, he's not able to keep pace with Rocha. Great move from Shattered Compass there, up the inside of
Is that a mistake from Caustic? I think that didn't look to be the line that you should take to that corner.
No, not at all. But as they enter the S's, it's clear that Shattered's back up into 5th place now. Oh, what a fantastic move, even if it was opportunistic from a mistake. The confidence to have to send it there is great.
I think if you're Shattered, you gotta kind of reset a little bit and try and set your sights on the drivers ahead, whereas if you're Caustic, you want to just stay on the tail of Shattered Compass, and we've seen how difficult it is to go without mistakes for a long time on this circuit.
Yeah, and with Shattered Compass doing a 108 and LT's last lap being a 110, it might be a little bit tricky. But also Dan Gilligan with a 108, so the leader's there. 107, the only guy in the 107s is Broadchin. Pulling away, but 108s look like the times to be now. To be in the top 6, that's what you've got to be pulling.
Peter in the 107s also with a lap that was faster than Broadchin.
So finally, just starting to make up gain some time, find some confidence in the tyres. Maybe it took him a while to find the balance in the cold tyres, get them up to temperature.
Find the rhythm.
Yeah, find the rhythm as we're on board with NDF following Maxi. This is for 11th place, and 3 minutes behind, so something's happened to these two. They're not right where they should be. As we see Orange into the pits, lap 12. Seems early for the second stop. Still have quite a few laps to go.
I think even with a full tank for Orange, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to make it to the end right now.
Yeah. Looking at about, I'd say 20 laps for a tank, so that's too much. He's going to have to stop again if he's doing that. He's out of the pits. 2 minutes 13 behind. This has not been the way he wanted his last race to go. Seeing NDF catching now within a seconds. That floating tech coming back all the time in different cars here. Such a tricky corner, the S's. As you're braking, you want to line up the car and point it as straight as you can through them. It's like threading a needle. Oh! And who was that caught in NDF's spin there?
I think that was Peter. Here's Peter. His gap to Bronson is just dropped by half a second.
I wonder if there's any damage there for Peter. Looks like he's gone on ahead. Can't see him in the pits, so he must have continued around. But oh, what a scary moment with a back marker spinning in front of you and to be collected. That is not helping his race. And up front, though, it looks like they're all kind of stable with Borchardt again, a 106. So the lap time's plummeting here, getting much closer to the qualifying times. So remember, Peter's qualifying time was a 105.6. So Borchardt, lap 16, like Carl, lap 17 now with a 106.8. Just 1.2 seconds behind the qualifying times. They are flying. Peter not able to hold up with it as we're on board with LT again. He is managing to hold just onto the back of Shattered. Looks like we have Maxi there being lapped. Yeah. There must be Maxi and then Shattered Compass in front of that. So not too far. Was that not? It's hard to see. It looks like Shattered Compass from my point of view, but it must be. It must be 3 seconds. So it was almost at half distance. Leaders are Borchardt, followed by Peter, TTR, Mumbo Man, Shattered Compass, and LT Caustic. They're point scorers right now, and there is a minute separating the top 6. So field spread is pretty real right now.
Just showing how difficult the conditions have been to spread out the field right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then go ahead.
And Dan Gilligan, looks like LT Caustic's through the back markers there. Dan Gilligan, Garrett, Leclerc, Orange, Maxi, who we've just seen being lapped, and then NDF following up the rear in 12th, and then Viltec and Stupidubi are retirements for the race. Borchardt's onto lap 18, still in the 106s. Nothing is slowing that guy down right now. This looks to be a great return for the Jaguar driver. And his championship contender right now, Mumbo Man, in 4th place. So this is doing Borchardt all kinds of favors. The other Jaguar there in 7th place, 5 seconds behind LT Caustic. So
Jaguar has only seen the second step of the podium so far this season, so I think they would be more than happy with Bronson bringing home a P1. Yeah. For such a small team, that's got to be amazing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see NDF in the pits now in 12th place. 4 minutes behind the leaders. That is there must have been several offs during all of that time in all those first 17 laps. As time is climbing. LT looks like he lost some time there. He's now 4 seconds behind instead of 3, so being in the back marker's dirty air here. There are a lot of spots where the dirty air will catch you, and it makes it hard to follow, especially towards the end of the lap. As we're on board with Orange now. 10th place, nice and cautiously through the S's. Gilligan here, he's got 4.5 seconds to the driver in front. Just barely maybe see him, if that's what I think it is. If that's LT just in front of him. Having sight of someone gives you real confidence. You just see them, you can see them slowly coming towards you. You start to feel a bit more powerful in your car. You start to understand that, yes, I'm catching them. I can take this. This is coming to me.
Gives you that confidence to just carry a little bit more speed everywhere and be able to move slowly.
That's it. Looks like it's 4 seconds now, so about half a second gained. Down in the 107s last lap, so LT 108.3. Dan, what's his time going to be? 107.4, so a second a lap faster. As we see Borchardt into the pits, lap 20.
think I see Shattered Compass is now the driver ahead, so there must have been a mistake there. So let Caustic through.
Yeah, what has happened to Shattered there? It's got to be on this lap, so it happened right at the beginning of the lap. He's now in between LT and Dan. And Peter joined Fortune in the pits there as GTR takes the lead, lap 21. Fortune exits the pits. Peter soon just behind, I'm imagining. Because we also see NDF still in the pits, so NDF must have retired. 6 minutes behind now. Last time we saw him was 4. Peter exits the pits.
Oh, there's contact. Shattered Compass deep on the brakes. With the lockup, I think he slowed down there to let Caustic recoup.
Yeah, it looks like he has. As Dan Gilligan slipped in between them, that was a gentlemanly thing to do by Shattered Compass. As we see some more pits here, Leclerc into the pits. So people starting to run out of fuel, run out of tyres. Got less than 20 laps remaining, so they can make it to the end now with one stop.
Exactly, yeah, we're getting to that pit stop window for everyone.
To the gap, Tita's 13 seconds ahead of Fortune, 20 seconds ahead of Peter. It's looking good. It's about 20-something seconds for a pit stop, so it might be Peter and Tita fighting it out here on the exit. On board with Dan here. He's past Shattered from that gentlemanly mistake. Well, a mistake that he was a gentleman to give the position back up. As we see Fortune enter the pits again.
Did they forget something in that first stop? That was a very short little...
yeah, 2 laps.
To the pit.
And he's out again. So something happened with the Jaguar there. Oh, is he sideways straight out of the pits on those cold tyres? This has gone all sorts of wrong for Jaguar here. Now 35 seconds behind the leader of TTR. And Peter still 20 seconds, so it's going to be nip and tuck from the first couple as we see... Oh, it's a small lockup.
I think that was a lockup. That was, yeah. So even for the leader, it's not easy.
Yeah. He's got to be... I mean, he's gone quite... He pitted on lap 2, so this is 20 laps on this set of tyres. Looks like he's going in the pits now, so let's keep an eye on the exit here. This is the worst feeling in the world when you're in the pit lane. You can see the timer to your competitors counting down as Peter goes through Goddard's. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Peter takes the lead. Where's TTR? Oh, not quite enough.
Still in the pits, just leaving now. Is it going to be...
It's going to be, what, 5-6 seconds. Hold it together. Fortune there must be distraught. 17 seconds. I wonder what happened. We're getting reports that Fortune had a driver swap at the pit lane in that first one and had to get back in the car. So we had a massive error there. This is not an endurance race, Jaguar.
That's something you don't see in Formula One very often.
Yeah. So back on board with LT here. Half a minute behind the leaders. Dan Gilligan made his way up into 4th. That is a net 4th position. All these others from 5th all the way back, I think, maybe just 1 or 2 in there, haven't done their second pit stop yet that I've seen. They pitted a little bit later for those dry tyres, so they got a little bit longer in the fuel tanks. LT season. Let's have a look at his standings after the last race. He's got 1 point for the Prost team already this season. 4 races, 1 point. It's looking like he could gain 2 just now. As we see Dan Gilligan in the pits. So this could be a real result. Prost so far only having... only with 1 point, so 2 points could skip them ahead of Benetton. It might just still be behind Minardi as we see another queue in the pit lane here. As Maxi comes in, we've got Orange in the pits.
could be a bit of a race down to the end of pit lane if one driver has a shorter stop than the other.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Oh, there we go. Great from the Jordan guys there. Dan Gilligan into 7th place after that pit stop. I do believe some drivers in front of him still need to pit. Orange still in the pits. This has been a long time. I wonder if he's retiring.
Yeah, my question exactly. I don't know. It wasn't his race, but it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, you're right. 14 laps remaining. We're on board. Oh, I can't tell if we're on board with Dan or Borchin there. Both Jaguar names are highlighted as Shattered Compass enters the pits. I feel it's got to be Borchin because in front of Dan is Mumbo Man. You can see Mumbo Man in the distance. Now we're on board with Dan Gilligan as we see Mumbo Man. It looks like it just ahead of him have a small lockup or go onto a wet patch. You see the small blinking light there. It's just to let the other drivers know that the track is wet. It's more of a courtesy and they're being able to see thing, a bit of a safety thing as well. Dan Gilligan up into 6th now. Oh, is that Max back in the pits? Lap 25. Yeah, Max is back in the pits.
I wonder if they forgot to put fuel in. That was such a quick stop. You don't see that too often.
No, especially for like the remaining 15 laps or however long it was when he entered into the pits.
Yeah, you need at least a good 8, maybe 10 seconds for fuel at that rate.
So here we go. Peter leading from TTR. Peter, we have to say, kind of inheriting the lead there from a very mismanaged pit stop from the Jaguar boys. Jaguar really letting down their man there. Borchin 25 seconds. TTR now 13 seconds, so not been able to keep up with Peter at all. Peter has real pace in his second stint. Borchin in 3rd. Mumbo Man 4th. Dan Gilligan in 5th. LT looks like he's come out of the pits. Up into 6th as we see Shattered Compass in 7th on the fringe of points. As Garrett O'Brien into the pits now. It was a long way. He was one of the last to stop the dry tyres though, so this kind of makes sense. Tricky corner, that Melbourne hairpin. Camber kind of falls away from you. We're braking downhill. It's going to be wet on the line as we see Dan just... Oh, he kept it together as he goes on the wet grass.
I think based on the evidence of what we've seen today, that last corner right there is got to be the trickiest one of the whole track. So many drivers have done a half spin or full spin, nearly put it in the wall.
Yeah, both
something about it.
Yeah, Goddard's especially because just on the outside of Goddard's is all the wet grass. There is no room for error.
It does seem to be a lot of marbles offline. I'm not sure if that's making it more difficult.
It's also one of the few corners here that's really blind. This is one of them, Coppice. As you come up the hill, it's blind. That's why you have the little sign on the right-hand side, the little marker board, letting you know there is a corner there, and that's where it's based. But Goddard's as well, you just come over the tiniest crest, and there it is suddenly right in front of you, hairpinning back, all the way back onto the main straight. Dan looking like he's got pace though. Mumbo Man, almost side by side. Here we go, here's over the little crest. Brake just before the crest. Don't get sucked off by the camber. Oh, who's that?
Who is that?
Is that Garrett? It's got to be Garrett. Moon isn't here in the race, so it has to be Garrett. So let's go through the retirements. That looks like Garrett's out in 9th place, Orange in 10th, Max in 11th, NDF in 12th, Viltec 13th, and Stupidoobie 14th, all retired.
This really has been a race of attrition.
14 out. 14 just started, 6 already out. So if you're on the track, you're only 2 positions away from points. This is great. As you watch LT now catching up to the back of Mumbo Man. Looks to the inside. Around the Melbourne hairpin. Still getting some wheel spin from the cars there. I wonder if it's still damp. Brake at the crest. Spot your apex. You going early or late? Don't go too wide onto the grass. Sun is trying to peek through and the fog has lifted quite a lot and it's overcast as we see LT still finding turn 1 tricky. Track must be taking a long time to dry out with that kind of low-lying cloud there that's just hovering. Almost looks like it's just in the grandstands but not quite on the track.
I think you are just getting, the racing line is completely dry by now. The off the line, it's got to be a little bit damp. So if you go deep in turn 1, then you're losing all the grip that you thought you might have.
Through the S's. Hold your line, pick your braking marker at the top of the hill. Come down. Yeah, that was Garrett stranded on the side. No safety car. No marshals. It's just happening.
You just drive around it like a professional.
As long as Garrett's out the car and he's safe, that's all good with us. As we're going back on board with his view of the start-finish straight. Just really hoping to finish that lap 25 or whatever it was. So Shattered Compass here. 1 minute 27, so as we see LT just go fractionally wide there.
Yeah, still 15 seconds maybe behind Caustic, who was battling earlier this race. I'm not sure if he's found a couple errors there or if LT Caustic has unlocked something and been able to pull away. But maybe not the race he was hoping for, starting from second.
So I'm starting to get word of some penalties. A few drivers have got some time penalties towards the end of this race. I'm hearing, you see Borchin into the pits. Is that real? He's not in the lead. I wonder if he needed to pit for a bit of extra fuel. He wasn't quite filled up. No, that was just a glitch in the system. So we've got some time penalties being dished out here. Apparently for going wide. We've got TTR 21 seconds, so his race right now, he's confirmed second place, but that puts him right in the snatches of Borchin at the end. Borchin as well, another 21-second penalty dished out there for going wide. So if you go off the track more than 3 times, you get a warning, and on your fourth go, you get a 21-second penalty, so corner cutting. And then LT Caustic as well. We got him speeding in the pit lane for 10 seconds, and corner cutting 21 seconds as well, so 31 seconds being added to his time right now. And Dan Gilligan as well. We have 42 seconds worth of penalties for the driver. Unbelievable.
I think there must be a timing error here because it is showing T-Tar in 7th behind Shattered, but we saw T-Tar just a second ago, firmly in second place.
So just some water getting into the system there.
Not the first error we've seen, but
This is Donnington. It is known for being wet. They still haven't managed to... as we see T-Tar getting a bit of a lock-up there. He's not in 7th place. That's him lapping Shattered Compass there.
Back into second now, we see. So it corrected itself.
So we'll have to work with those time penalties and see how it all falls out right at the end of the race. The stewards are dishing them out for lots of corner cutting and a couple of speeding in the pit lanes. No forgiveness here. So Peter, really no time penalties from what we can see for Peter. He is flying. They are pretty matched though in the top, but with that 20-second gap and a 21-second penalty, it's It's looking like Peter is going to claim his 7th victory of an 8-race season. That is unbelievable as we see Mumbo Man right at the edge of the track there. LT has been our driver of the day. We are following him like a hawk through and with his progress. Down the greener curves, into the old hairpin, such a fast part of the track. What is going on? We must know. You see Dan here. That is not Peter in 3rd position. Lap times are doing something bad here. Peter is in... Is that his teammate ahead of him, or is that a lapped car that he's coming up to?
I think that is...
Fortune.
No, that is a Ferrari. I think he's been lapped. And then there's Peter going ahead. No, I'm not sure, though.
Was that Shattered? That can't be Shattered Compass. Shattered Compass is saying, oh, the timing screens are doing all sorts of things. So it's hard to see. We'll have to try and find out if we can see the name on the side of the car or if the timing board sorts itself out. It looks to be back to normal now. It is Shattered Compass, really 2 minutes 41 seconds behind. I'm not sure I believe that right now.
I don't think so. He was battling LT Caustic a second ago.
Yeah.
And he's now
There we go.
He's one lap down. One lap down.
Okay, so 4 laps remaining. Peter ahead of Tita, ahead of Fortune, Dan Gilligan, Mumbo Man, and LT Caustic. Remember, we've got some penalties in there. Tita, Fortune, LT, and Dan, all with penalties. And then we got Shattered Compass, who looks like he's going to inherit some spots from these penalties. Leclerc. And that's it. That's your remaining drivers. Leclerc in 8th place. LT's getting really close now to Mumbo Man. Just half a second. You can smell the exhaust. You can feel the heat from the car in front. See where they brake. You can make different choices.
Yeah, if you're Caustic right now, you want to show up in the mirrors and Mumbo Man as much as you can. Distract him a little bit in the braking zone and let him know you're there.
That's all you can do. Especially when their lap times are so similar. Oh, wait. Yeah. They're now saying
another timing error. That's a timing
Another
error.
timing error. Dan. It's now saying Dan's 3rd, but I believe this is still part of the timing error. As they're now on board with the leader. The leader, that's Peter.
The leader or the gallon?
Yeah. Smooth line. This is how the leader's doing it. Not touching the curbs. Full speed as we see his teammate. Coming down the other side of the track. Into the S's. Smooth line. Hard on the throttle, yeah. Lots of curb. No fear about the wet curbs there. They've been dried out.
There's a lot of drivers that have gotten that track limits penalty, so taking those risks at this point in the race is definitely a decision.
It is indeed. Again, this is a timing error. Tita, there we go. Up in 2nd place. 19 seconds. So I feel like without the corner cutting and without Fortune's double pit stop or triple pit stop, it was hard to know if that last one was a pit stop. I don't think it was. What could have been between those 3 drivers? Peter kept it on the track. No errors from the Ferrari boys for his pit stops. I think all season they have just been flawless. You have to say this is one mad round of domination from a single driver in the mutiny. Peter has been quick before, but never won this many races in a row.
It's not something we've really seen before. I mean, there's been some champions that end the season with a good lead, but nothing like this.
Nothing like this. Peter has already been crowned double world championship, and he has the Triple Crown Championship earlier on in the year. The only other driver with 2 championships in the mutiny is Jeff. who, rumour has it, will be returning for the next season. And if you have checked out our other videos on YouTube, you will be seeing what that car is. So it looks like we might have two double champions going up against each other next season. We're still focused on this season as Peter's going through. It has to be Leclerc there, the remaining Minardi. This has been a phenomenal race as he goes around to finish his last lap, last few corners here. Another stunning, flawless performance, only outwitted by Broadchen at the beginning. The Jaguar boys letting him down as he crosses the line. What a season here for Peter, as TTR not able to take the fight to him almost all season. Had to play second fiddle. Bringing it home in second place. That's going to confirm his second place in the standings. Broadchen here, recovering from all this misfortune. What a race that could have been. It could have been his, up until that pit stop. This was the winner here, right here.
At the very least, he can confirm P4 in the standings with this finish.
That would be a great, great end to the season. So follow him around. He's not even been part of all the races this year. Only 4 of the 8 races. He's taking 4th in the championship. And let's take a look at the championship standings. What an incredible race. So many people retiring here. And look at this. Peter ahead of Tita, Broadchen, Mr. Mouse, Shattered Compass, LT Caustic, Dan Gilligan and Leclerc. All our finishers, top 8 finishing. And we got those 5 non-finishers. What a brutal day. Driver of the day going to Broadchen there. Felt like he was robbed in those pit stops, but fastest lap to Peter. What an incredible season, so dominant. And let's have a look at the drivers standing. Peter ahead of Tito, grabs second place from Shattered. Broadchen grabbing 4th place from Mr. Mouse. Arsmoon with 6th place there. Incredible season. Dan Gilligan with 7th position with 8 points. So the rookie of the season here being Arsmoon. And final team standings, Ferrari, Williams, Jaguar, Jordan, Toyota, Sauber, Minardi joint there in 6th. Benetton and Prost and Arrows joint on 9th. Thank you very much for watching the season with us, guys. I hope you join us in a few weeks' time where we're starting an F3 season. Oh, that's going to be so good. I'll see you then.